Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to another Norktacular episode of Let's Play Spyro the Dragon, or Exoplays, or whatever the fuck I call these things. I'm Exio, the Paradigm Gamer, and we're back once again for more fun and excitement as a purple lizard slithers around the ground with his horns sticking out for 80% of the adventure. Last time we met, I think it was part 4, and that was like over a week ago. And I should probably explain what the delay was. I mean, obviously it's not gonna matter if you're watching this, like, after the fact, but I've been hard at work on the latest Remake or Rebreak episode on Mega Man and Bass, and that ended up being, like, almost an hour and 10 minutes. It's the longest review I've ever made. And it was well worth it because that was my game of the year. As you guys will see in, That was the most enjoyable game I played this year, the one that I came back to the most, and so I wanted to give that the attention it deserved, and that ended up taking a lot longer than I wanted it to, and in order to get that done in a reasonable clip, I had to put the Let's Play on hold, so sorry about that, but we're back now, and we finished with 3 of the worlds, so we're gonna go ahead and do the last chunk of the game here. Thank you, Spyro, for recovering so many of our dragon eggs. Hop aboard for the Beastmaker's world if you are ready. Let's go to Beastmaker's, fam. Let's do it. And, by the way, that our intro for today's episode was proposed by the Honorable Judge Ty Burns. It's a YouTube user. He commented on, I don't know, I think part 2 of this playthrough and said, hey, why don't you try Norktacular next time? And so I was like, you know what? That sounds just terrible enough to be something I'd say. So I rubber stamped it then and there. So, yeah, so we're finally moving on to the 4th world of Spyro the Dragon, that being Beastmakers, which, I don't know, the first time I played Spyro the Dragon was kind of like one of my least favorite worlds. Hey, I never knew that the fodder could get shocked like that. That's kind of interesting. But this is basically the swamp world of Spyro the Dragon, and, you know, obviously, like we've been talking about, all the worlds in this game kind of follow a set theme.
Nasty Nork is turning our swamp into an electrified junk heap, and it used to be so beautiful.
I'm sure it was.
Oh, Spyro, you sassy bitch. But, yeah, so this is kind of like the swamp, grungy kind of area in the game, and I know there's some variety with that, like one of the levels is a giant tree, basically, but it's mostly pretty swampy, and I remember the first time I played Spyro the Dragon, I wasn't really digging this world. Like, the first time I played this game, I had kind of a completely different opinion on it. I had, I guess, a more typical opinion, now that I think about it. There are lots of people out there who like Spyro 1. I mean, most people like Spyro 2, at least. Even if it's not their favorite thing, most people say, you know, I didn't like the other 2, but I like Spyro 2 just fine. But Spyro 1 is kind of considered like the boring one out, almost. I think that's fair to say, that most people find the sequels more interesting. Which I don't necessarily disagree with myself, as much as I enjoy this first game. I do find Spyro 2 and 3 a bit more... If you're a newcomer to the series and you've never played it before, start with Spyro 2. I think that's the best route to go. Play Spyro 2 first, and then come back to Spyro 1 later. And I think you'll enjoy it more that way. I don't know, just because that game has a bigger focus on... Well, I think it has a more interesting setting and characters that'll make it grab people more.
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
Well, that was pointless. I feel like if this was a TGX review, there would have been a cutaway gag after that, but... enough name dropping. So when I was first playing Spyro the Dragon, I did touch on this earlier, I do find that the first 3 worlds, like, you know, as I've dug more into the game design, I've appreciated them more and more, and I enjoyed them fine enough, even, you know, like I said within this playthrough, But I did find the game just a little bit dry in comparison to the others. Because compared to the other classic Spyro games, Spyro 1 is definitely the odd one out, especially in the trilogy, just between the way it's organized and the fact that there are no mini games, and even the sound design is very different. Like, most games have the standard kind of jump sound effect, and the gems have a very distinct I can't do it with my mouth, but you get the point. There's a very distinct gem sound effect, and if you've ever played the other games, you know what it is. But in this game, there's a completely different sound effect for that. There's a completely different sound effect for charging and jumping and everything, pretty much. And every time you get hit, like, those stars come up and it goes, you know. Probably shouldn't have whistled into a microphone that's less than a foot from my face, but you get the idea, fam. This game feels different and it feels kind of weird. Over time, I've grown to appreciate that a lot more. Here's our objective for this world. I feel sorry for all the dragons still trapped in Crystal. Maybe once you rescue 50 dragons, then it'll feel a little better. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I usually don't talk to the balloonists until I've fully completed the world, so I never really knew what the requirements were until this playthrough, when I've, you know, just been kind of checking it out for shits and giggles. I don't know, like, we've done everything we could up to this point. We have 48 dragons. You know, and that includes dragons from this level, so yeah, there's some stuff you can skip, I guess, but I guess the completion criteria is a little bit more demanding than I initially thought. There's our swirly whirlwind to give us that shortcut that I love oh so much from these games. I'm trying to remember where the damn chest was. There might be a lack of professionalism in this session because it's been a while since it's been a while since I did my practice playthrough. That was a bit ago. Did I get the chest? I must have. I'm suffering from dementia, folks. But I'm missing a bunch, so I must have gotten it? Or hold on, let me check back over here real quick. Hopefully I'm not boring you too much. I know it's just kind of hard to, you know, I've basically been working. There's the chest. So apparently I have not found the key yet. It's gotta be, I should know this. Okay, it's not over here. I don't already have it, so... Okay, maybe it's upstairs. Gotta be somewhere in this neck of the woods, right? Or not. Okay, I guess we're gonna cut until I find the key, which... I have it already, so why didn't it let me open the chest earlier? I guess because I charged into it? Okay, that's a bit weird. And if I was doing a normal kind of speedrun Jones sort of playthrough that I usually do when I just come back to this game on my own, this would have been, you know, this would have ruined everything. But to be fair, I'd probably practice up before I would ever, you know, actually speedrun Spyro the Dragon. So, you know, whatever. We're done this level, as the Canadians would say. As I always say, the Canadians say. I don't know, it's weird, because every Canadian I've met does it. But then I ask them about it, and they always say that they don't know what I'm talking about. So, for all I know, I could be full of shit. I'm just gonna grab some fodder real quick before we go into the next stage. Just for, you know, convenience sake. I have a full golden healthy... I love that weird little zippy dive that Sparks does when you're, you know, dash jumping, charge jumping. Anyway, Terrace Village is actually, I don't know. I'll get back to what I was actually talking about earlier. What I was trying to say is that Spyron the Dagron. When I got to Beast Makers, I found this world kind of boring. And you know, the first 3 levels, I found Magic Crafters more interesting than the levels before it. But you know, with the more limited theming compared to the sequels, was definitely kind of boring me just a little bit, especially since there are no mini games and I wasn't really thinking. Cause you know what's ironic is, you know, people always say that you know, reviewers overthink things and that ruins it for them. I don't know, for me personally, it's made me appreciate stuff more because, you know, before I would just play a game and just, you know, play it and then I'd think whatever I thought and didn't really have a thought process behind, you know, my opinions or anything. But, you know, as I learned from the masters, so to speak, the YouTubers that inspired me, it meant that I could come into games and, you know, think more critically about them and develop my own opinions that way. And, you know, when I used to play Spyro the Dragon 1 and be like, this game's kind of dull, but as time's gone on, I've really come to appreciate the level design and, you know, how this game utilizes 3D environments and verticality and all that kind of stuff, and that made the game more enjoyable to me. I find that, you know, thinking critically about things makes it more enjoyable most of the time. And it also means that when I hate something, I can put it into words, so, yeah. But at any rate, I found this world kind of boring, but when I came back from like my second and later playthroughs, I gained more of appreciation for this world.
Watch out, Spyro. The Norks in these parts have discovered the power of electricity, and it really stings.
No, I've been kind of shitting on Clancy Brown during this playthrough. Just a little bit, but, you know. But I do gotta hand it to him, like, I've been accusing him of only doing, like, 2 or 3 voices, but forgot that he kind of puts on kind of an interesting little, southern accent for the dragons he plays in this world. Which is kind of interesting, I guess. You know, most of the time when I replay this game, I, like, skip the dragon's dialogue. Okay, listen, you fuck. I'm not taking any of your guff. I'm gonna flat out reject that guff. You get a cookie if you understand that reference. I'll give you an official EPG cookie. It'll have my logo on it with blue frosting around it. Then you can put that cookie in your mouth and eat it. Please don't take that out of context, folks. I don't know, does it bother anyone anymore that I say folks? Used to bother people. Yeah, I don't think so, you fuck! This is where the enemies start getting a lot more devious, in my opinion. You know, I've been kind of touching on this as a theme throughout the playthrough that, you know, starting out, enemies are pretty... You know, like, I think they're better than some of the later Spyro games. Like, if the fucking enemies in Enter the Dragonfly are a complete joke, for example.
Good job, Spyro. One day you'll be able to tell all the dragons about your amazing adventures.
Sure, but what I'd really like to do is get out of this swamp.
Paint me like one of your French girls. Game over.
Try again, Crash. You know, I may not love Crash Bandicoot, but Crash 2 has the greatest game over screen of all time. It's true. It's true. I don't even think this game does have a game over screen. That's right. I barely ever see it. That's why I forget. Collectathons really shouldn't have lives, in my opinion. It's kind of a worthless inclusion because, I don't know. Jack and Daxter, thank you very much for getting rid of that shite. And well ahead of the Mario games, too. But unfortunately, the original trilogy does have lives, and most of the later games too, but I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know? Lives should have been removed from, you know, video games a long time ago. It should, like, I think Mario Odyssey and Shovel Knight have a better idea about how to punish the player nowadays for failing. It should be more about, here's this challenge, over the shorter, more manageable challenge that increases in increments, go play it and go have fun. But, you know, I don't mind lives. I play lots of games with lives, including this one, and I still like them just fine. And I don't know, like, Terrace Village, in terms of, you know, the way that's structured, there's something about it. I used to not think much of this level, but as time's gone on, I've really come to appreciate the way the level is structured. Like, for example, again, we're thinking about going back to this theme of thinking outside the box and, you know, 3D game design, the development of that. We're missing quite a few gems, but if we glide around this building, you can see that there's another chunk of level design we have yet to play, which is always fun. Good 3D platforming right there. And it's not too obscure to figure out that you're supposed to go up here because you can see, you know, the stuff on top of the buildings from the lower level, so yeah. So we got more fireworks boxes, which is one of the few things that actually comes back in the sequels in some way. Like, I've been talking about how this game differs from the sequels, and one of the ways that is the case is, you know, I think I talked about this earlier, at least somewhat, but you might have noticed that we're breaking regular kind of treasure chests, and let's see, have I been over here? We'll try that. Hold on. I think I just saw something. Is there a staircase on the other side of that? Yeah, there's no way I was getting out of that. But I have to know, damn it. Yeah, I could've... I am missing something. Excuse me. I got both of those fireworks boxes. Hey, get out of my way, you fuck! Yeah, better the drop and not take the extra hit on that one. And there's a lovely fodder right there to restore our health. Should probably explain what those weird little silver orbs are. That's another thing that's different from the other games. In the other games, you have to, like, you can get extra lives by having sparks keep eating, you know, fodder. And, I don't know, I'd barely explain what the fodder does, but the fodder is basically, like, the little animals running around the stage, and you kill them and they drop butterflies, and then Sparks eats the butterflies, and then they restore some of his health. Like, their hens in this level are the fodder. The fodder changes depending on the level, which is different from the GBA games, especially, where it's all sheep. In fact, actually, I think Hero's Tale just had sheep as well. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't really care about the variety of the fodder in these games personally, but yeah, just something weird that I noticed replaying those again recently, and those are really, personally, Spyro 2 Season of Flame is the real Spyro 4 in my heart, even though it technically isn't. And I don't know, I guess I'm certain that most people would like Hero's Tale more, but I don't know, something about Hero's Tale is just not for me. Yeah, there's a staircase over here. I'm not sure how you're supposed to get to it from anywhere in the rest of the level, but where the hell are the gems I'm missing? I'm missing like exactly 11? I can't seem to fucking find them in this part, so they gotta be in the earlier part. And like I said, practice playthroughs. You'll be a believer if you've, I don't know, like, it always just used to be like a running gag in our, on Game Mavericks that, my co-hosts would never do practice runs, and it would always take longer because of it, and it's true. You would be amazed how much of a difference it makes. That's what I missed right there. You'd be amazed how much of a difference it makes just playing through a game real quick. It'll make so much of a difference, but that's it for Terrace Village. Oh man, time's just been flying. mean, this is the point where the game starts to get longer, but, you know, still, I'm kind of a bit amazed how much longer it takes. Or, you know, just because it's been so long since my practice playthrough, but I don't know, it was kind of like this was the most convenient day to record, because my brother's home and I'm going to be trying to do some stuff with him before he goes. So I kind of unfortunately had to just sit down and record it, and kind of put it off for too long today because of how damn long it took to process the Mega Man and Bass video and all that stuff, so yeah. Yeah, so that's dating the video, or if I didn't already do that, because I'm pretty sure I said that earlier, but you know, whatever. I recorded this the same day that I uploaded Mega Man and Bass. Which, I don't know, I'll probably end up playing on the channel, because the game's so damn replayable. Can't get enough of it. But we're not here to talk about that. I've already talked about that for an hour and 7 minutes, so I think it's time to move on for the time being. I do have an idea in mind about what I want to do for the next playthrough. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind, but for now I'm pretty dead set because it just feels like it makes the most sense. But yeah, so we're... Now, I'll probably save that topic of discussion for the next part. What is this? Misty Bog? Misty Bog. The music that plays here is actually the Spyro series credits music. These are other tricky enemies. They wait till you get close and they charge at you. And if they get you, then they'll try to eat you. So you gotta be careful with that.
Be on the lookout for attack frogs. They are cold-blooded killers.
Attack frogs?
And this used to be such a nice swamp.
I wonder if they're making fun of anything in particular with those dragons. 'Cause they keep saying that the swamp is like beautiful, and I don't know. I guess home is where the heart is. But at any rate, there are other tricky enemies in this level, and that's they're the weird little sapling things that try to eat you, which can be kind of devious. So like I said, while the first chunk of Spyro the Dragon is really easy, like I remember when I played Dark Hollow for the first time, like this is like child's play. But this is the point where the game starts to get pretty dang challenging. Not like super hard, but this is the point where you're definitely gonna the enemies are gonna start giving you a run for your money, and you've got to develop a strategy. These attack frogs mean business, my friends. They basically what they do is they lick you with their tongues from a distance, and it hurts. It smarts, and you gotta be on the lookout for that.
Thanks for releasing me. It seems like I've been trapped in here since I was your age. No, no. Why, I remember... gotta go!
What the fuck was that look? I think I know what I'm making the thumbnail for the That's gonna be the thumbnail, just you wait and see. But you guys would know what I ended up picking for the thumbnail by now, because obviously the video is uploaded. And I think I made a terrible choice when I jumped that way, but whatever. We saved. Dragons are the checkpoints. They also saved the game too, so yeah, I probably showed that off, but no, actually I didn't, because that's there's no copy feature for the save files in this game, so I've just been waiting until the end of a session to save the game. But speaking of which, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Join me in the next episode, and we'll continue our romp through Misty Bog, and I don't know, probably finish up the world, but we'll see. There's another level coming up later that could be pretty tricky, and if you've played this game, you probably know the one I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode.